Hawks win! Hawks win over the Minnesota Wild 3-1, and Corey Crawford makes a huge game out of it. It was Hockey Fights Cancer night. The Hawks did an amazing thing with Hockey Fights Cancer, having Eddie Olczyk do his one last shift by the Blackhawks to skate out to the the Hawks for the before the game opening ceremonies for Hockey Fights Cancer. He skated out in full gear and they ended up letting him do the ceremonial first drop of the puck. The Hawks did Hockey Fights Cancer up great like normal. The Hawks, the NHL does it right for cancer support, and Hawks did it with an amazing tribute to Eddie Olczyk with the fact that last year he was battling cancer, he beat it, and then they gave him his one last shift tonight for Hockey Fights Cancer. The Hawks beat the Minnesota Wild 3-1 in the United Center. Corey Crawford faced 40 shots and saved 39 of them tonight. Crow was on his head. This game was a great game all around. The Hawks looked like in the first period they were going to be the better team. They looked like they did not look... The Minnesota Wild in the first period of the game looked like they clearly shown they were on a back-to-back because last night they blew their game and they lost when they had the lead, and now the Wild are on a 2-game losing streak, and the Hawks don't go on a losing streak. I'm sorry I did not have a preview video this morning, but I had to go to work. I forgot about filming the video. As soon as I got to work, I said, shoot, I forgot my preview. But whatever, stuff happens. So let's get into the stats of the game, okay? Well, clearly the Hawks won 3-1 over the Minnesota Wild. To start the scoring off, in the first period at 8:26 in the first period, on the power play, Jonathan Toews on the doorstep uses his foot to rebound, have it as a backboard, and the puck bounced to his stick into the net, open net. Hawks take the lead 1-0 over the Wild. And then they, at 17:29 in the first period, Brandon Saad, looking like Marian Hossa out there, gets on a breakaway around Matt Dumba and scores an amazing breakaway goal. He breaks Stolok's he breaks the Wild goalie, and it was given an empty net because Stolok bit too early, tried to poke check, and Saad gets the empty net and scores, makes it 2-0 Hawks. So after the first period, the Hawks actually had a total of 16 shots in the period, and the Wild only had 11. So Hawks clearly showed they had the more energy in the entire game, and to start the game off. Then the Wild started coming back in the second period. I was worried because they looked like they were starting to find their skating legs, and it was literally I was worried that the Hawks will blow it. Because at 7:56 on the Minnesota power play, Zach Parise scores his 9th goal of the season, and the assist went to Koivu and Dumba. I was worried after that because I knew they were starting to get their skating legs and outplay the Hawks, and you know how the Hawks are in 60 minutes. But that didn't have to worry after that because they didn't score anymore. So in the third period, Dominic Cahoon scores the empty net goal to make it 3-1, and the assist went to Taze and Kane. And that was at 19:01 in the third period. So it was a great way for the Hawks to get a win over their Central Division rival and the Minnesota Wild. Corey Crawford played on his head. The Wild had 11 shots in the first period to the Hawks 16. Second period, the Wild had 15 shots and the Hawks only had 7. And in the third period, the Wild had 14 and the Hawks had 5. Crow stood on his head and shut the doors. But tonight was, in my opinion, mainly for Hockey Fights Cancer. Hockey Fights Cancer is a big thing with the NHL, and I love how the Blackhawks did it tonight because with Eddie Olczyk being having battled cancer last year and beating it, and they gave him his one last shift tonight on Hockey Fights Cancer night, and had all those kids today. It was really a good tribute for the Hawks. And the video they did for Eddie Olczyk was really cool. They sped up a little bit on one spot because Eddie Olczyk was never that fast in one moment of that video. Pat Foley decided to bring up. But it was a great all-around tribute today. Hockey Fights Cancer being a big part in the NHL, and all around, it was a great day all around for the Hawks to beat the Minnesota Wild 3-1, and maybe the Bears could beat Minnesota Vikings because they are winning right now, and Chicago. Maybe the Hawks and Bears both get victories over Minnesota today. It was a great game today, and had to bring out the Edzo Hockey Fights Cancer jersey for today's, because it being Hockey Fights Cancer, have to do that. And with the big win, and Hawks get 2 points on the standings, and they've taken 5 out of the potential 6 in the last 3 games. That's a good thing. Corey Crawford's been on his head this entire week. I will be surprised if he doesn't get first star of the week in the NHL. Crow's been virtually been our best player all week. And please leave a comment down below on this game, and because this was a fun one to watch. Hawks did start losing their skating legs. We do face Washington on Wednesday, so we have a few days off until we play our next game. But please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you for watching the broadcast. I know you enjoyed the outcome. Hawks win 3-1 over the Wild, and most of all, let's go Hawks!